Hello, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Plastic Addict. This is episode number 29.
29, that's a lot of episodes.
Today we got Konner here with us.
Hey!
The one and only Konner Kennedy.
1, 2, 3, 4.
This is low-key like a dream of mine. I've always wanted to be on Plastic Addict.
Here we are. Your dream is fulfilled.
One night I binged. This was like a few months ago, so there wasn't as many episodes of Plastic Addict, but I binged like 5 of them. Well, I was just at home by myself, and I just watched one, and then I watched all of them.
Boom. You just click on the Plastic Addict playlist, and you just let it roll.
Yeah, huge fan. Happy to be here.
Well, there's only so many people in this office. We did Hunter last week, but I for the foreseeable future, I want to open up these episodes to you, the viewers. And by doing so, if you would like to be on this show, Plastic Addict, and show off your collection, there will be a form down in the description below. It'll be the first link there. Fill out that form, and maybe we'll have you on. So, yeah, if you're interested in that, fill out the form. Sweet.
That's sick. That's a great idea. I would watch all those episodes. I'd love to see everybody's collections.
Well, yeah. I mean, so many different people, so many different discs. Mm-hmm. You don't have all the discs in the world. I don't have all the discs in the world.
Certainly not.
So fun. Well, Konner, what do we have here? What are we getting ourselves into today?
So in my shoe rack at home that's filled with discs, my top rack is reserved for never trade, never sell, because I was hurt very badly by having an almost full Discmania bag. And then all of a sudden, Discmania stuff became super rare and super expensive. And by that point, I had already traded all of it in for like new Discraft stuff. So from that point forward, I told myself there was going to be certain discs that I never traded and never sold.
That's smart.
Some of those are nostalgic. I didn't bring the nostalgic discs. I just brought the ones that were kind of cool to some other people.
Okay.
I'll try to split it up so I'm not just doing a whole section of Innova and a whole section of Discraft. I'll like go back and forth.
Okay.
So let's start off with a couple of Discraft discs. This is a really weird one that a lot of people probably don't know about.
Yeah.
This is an Eric Mccabe TI Wasp. So
that looks super old.
Yeah, it is very old. It's a 2010 world champion Eric Mccabe Wasp. I don't know how old it is. I should have looked up the actual year that this was made, but Eric Mccabe hasn't been sponsored by Discraft in a very long time.
Yeah.
You guys probably mostly know him from the EMAC stuff with Dynamic or with Trilogy.
Yeah.
This is a EMAC Wasp basically. Very cool disc, flies really nice, pretty overstable, but this old TI plastic is super stiff. I just thought this is a really cool disc.
Oh yeah. I mean,
here you go.
Let me feel this up.
And then kind of in that same realm.
Oh, it's kind of like color shifty too.
Yeah,
you got like a green, and then
the
you got
old TI
blue
plastic
as well.
was very cool.
And then there's like TI. That's I guess that's how you know it's like really old. Is
the embossed
that
stuff.
TI.
Is that what you'd call that, embossed? No,
I guess so.
it kind of is.
Yeah, it kind of is. That's interesting. Yeah.
Well, and then in that same realm of disc, I've got a Nate Doss TI Buzz.
Sick.
These were very, very popular. Still pretty popular, but you don't see them around as much.
Did you get these at the same time?
No, they're different. I had one of these buzzes. It was my favorite buzz, and then I lost it. I don't remember how. Oh, like threw it into some leaves and just could never find it. But then I saw someone on the course who had one, and I could tell he was like a newer player, like didn't really know what he was throwing.
Yeah.
And I walked up to him and I said, "I'll trade you 3 of any disc in my bag for that one disc." And he was like, "Okay, yeah, no problem." And I was like, I don't want to just like steal this from you, so I want you to know like this is a pretty cool disc. It's a really old disc. So like I didn't want to just take advantage of him for not knowing.
No.
And so I told him that, but he was like, "Oh no, I don't care." He just didn't really care that much. And so I traded him 3. Probably I think it was like a Hades and like another buzz, something like that. And then I got this Nate Doss buzz. These fly great. They're like, this one's pretty straight. I think these are the best feeling buzzes out there. They just feel really good too. And I like how you can kind of stick your thumb in the embossing and have a little bit more grip.
Oh yeah. No, that feels great. I feel like this is a little bit gummier than like our TI now.
Yep, for
I feel
sure.
like the TI Discraft is making now is a little bit stiffer. This has got a little bit more flex to it.
Hunter's old trusty was a TI Buzz.
TI Buzz. Oh.
Yeah. All right, I'm just going to go through all the disc crafts since it's already here.
Let's do
here,
it.
we've got a Luna with PM stamp on it. This is from Paul's bag. I don't really honestly remember how this got into my hands. I think it might have been left by Paul in Hunter's truck, and then Hunter said I could have it. So
That's sick.
I might have technically stolen this.
Yeah.
Doesn't
You
matter.
might be a thief.
This right here, you can see that it's got Trevor's signature on it. That's because Trevor gave it to me. I went through a Wasp phase where I was trying out Wasps, and this is a CT Wasp. This is actually out of Paul's bag. Like he threw it for a while. Then Trevor got it from him, and then I got it from Trevor. And then I threw it. It's an amazing disc, but this like CT jawbreaker, that's what this is, a CT jawbreaker.
Yeah.
Since it's like the different plastics, but it's like super hard and brittle, it starts to peel. So like you can see right there, the plastic starts to separate.
Oh, weird.
So you probably can't see that in the camera, but
That's
the plastic
not
starts to
good.
peel up right there. And so I was just like, well, I'll just retire it. But that's kind of a cool one because it came out of Paul's bag.
Yeah, no.
This
definitely.
one might be cool to just Foundation fans. This was what do we call this? Dark Claw?
Dark Claw?
Trevor? Is this Dark Claw? Yeah, so this is the Dark Claw stamp Jawbreaker Wasp. But it was known, this was in Trevor's bag, it was known as Sweet Hickory because in the video, that was the wheel of different grip things, basically. Trevor had to put barbecue sauce all over his hand, and he threw this disc and it got barbecue sauce all over it, so he called it Sweet Hickory. And so whenever I got it from him, I wrote on there Sweet Hickory in remembrance of Trevor.
That's awesome.
And I just thought that was fun because that's a very cool like Foundation moment.
Oh, yeah. This stamp is like super rare too.
It's a cool stamp. I've got two more of those stamps.
Oh, very cool.
All right, moving on to Innova.
What we got in there, man?
I'm gonna do half my Innova stuff.
Okay.
And then move on to two kind of obscure discs, and then move back to Innova.
Let's do it.
So first of all, I've got 3 Mcpro AVRs.
Yeah, Hunter had some last week on the episode.
Yeah,
They weren't like this though.
I've got, so this is the one, this one is a 3-time Mcpro AVR, and these two are 4-time Mcpro AVRs, and this one right here is a black stamp, a black on black Mcpro AVR, which I haven't really seen a lot of these. You can like very faintly see the stamp. Maybe if I kind of move it like this, you can see it.
Yeah,
but it's the same stamp as this. It's just black. I actually walked into play it against Sports, and these were both sitting on the rack. And this was after Paul was gone from Innova, so they were already like kind of worth a little bit more.
A little rare.
Yeah, a little more rare, not necessarily worth more, but and they were sitting on the rack, and they were $3 each. And I said I would be doing a disservice to the world if I did not buy those. So I bought them. I putted with them for like a little bit, but now I just collect them.
Oh, that's sick.
And the 3-time is kind of cool. Actually, somebody sent this to me because I just like old Paul Innova stuff.
No, that looks awesome.
This one's kind of a cool one. It's not a cool disc. It's not really in the bag for any reason, just because it came in the bag, so I just left it in there. The disc itself isn't that cool. It's a Star Animal, which I believe is a newer disc from Innova.
Yes.
But it's got the championship USDGC stamp on it because this past USDGC, this was in Brody's Players Pack. And so I thought it was cool that I actually had a disc from Brody's Players Pack. He gave it to me. I didn't steal this one. And so yeah, this one's just in my special disc because it's kind of a cool moment that I got to hang out with Brody as like, I mean, we all hung out at USDGC, so it was fun to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And then this is a pre-flight number. So for those of you guys probably know from Hunter's episode, pre-flight number just means old as crap Innova. So this is a really old Pro Leopard. That's pre-flight number. This is actually in my bag, so I throw this, and it flies really nice. But it was just super cool.
Yeah.
Old disc. I love anything with the big Innova stamp on it. That's how you know it's cool. So I love any of that stuff. And in same realm, it's not that crazy of a disc, but this is an old, you can barely see the stamp, but it's a big Innova stamp, pre-flight number, champion Viking. I threw this disc a little bit. It's pretty straight with a little bit of finish. But this plastic doesn't feel like any other champ plastic. Just feel that. Like you can tell that's old because it just feels really good.
Yeah, it almost feels like CE in a way.
It does feel
because
close.
It's kind of got that like waxy feel to it a little bit.
It is very close to feeling like CE. I wish
But
it
still
said,
very old.
I wish it said Champion Edition Viking because then it would be CE and that'd be cool. But still a cool disc. I just found this at a used section in Dallas, I think, and I saw the big end of a stamp and I was like, I'll take that, $8. Then right here. Trevor was looking at these earlier, and he was like, wait, how the crap did you get this? And then he looked a little closer and realized, because this is the CE Leopard stamp, but it's not CE. It's a Drew Gibson Luster Leopard 3. But still cool. That's Drew Gibson, because Drew Gibson isn't sponsored by Innova anymore.
Right, yeah.
So I got this at College Disc Golf Nationals, and I just thought it was really cool. I wanted something to replace an FD that I just threw in the water, and I threw it once. And you know what? It's a very, very stable leopard. But it's very cool.
Yeah, it looks very cool.
And then last in this stack, this one has a cool story behind it, but this is a Charlotte Disc Golf Club Shimmer Star Destroyer. Shimmer Star Destroyers are really good destroyers, pretty stable, but they just have a really, like, have you ever felt Shimmer Star before?
No, I haven't.
Feels really good.
Okay.
But this one is signed.
This feels like Star and G Star.
Exactly. It feels like Star and G Star had a baby. That's what it feels like. Yeah, really good feeling. Maybe I'll put this thing back in my bag. No, I don't need to. There's no point in it. This one's signed by Big Germ because so I had this disc because I lived in Charlotte, so there was a bunch of them all over the place. So I had this Charlotte Disc Golf Club one, and I knew Germ was from Charlotte, so whenever we were at Nationals, he was actually there, and they were like doing signings and stuff like that. So I walked up to him. I wanted to have him sign this disc because it's Charlotte disc. And he was like, no way. Like, how'd you get this disc? And I was like, oh, I'm from Charlotte. And he was like, oh, cool. Yeah, I actually designed this stamp. And so it turns out that he designed the stamp that was on the disc that I was getting him to sign. So that was really cool. And he was a really nice guy. Like he was talking way more than I was. Like I was kind of trying to get him to sign it and get out of line, but he just like kept on talking to me. And like I was there with Liberty. So he was like talking about how like he like our basketball season and stuff, and like he was super. I was very surprised, pleasantly surprised.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's some Innova. Let's go to two kind of obscure discs here. One that everybody's gonna know. It's a Meta Tilt.
Ooh.
We had these in for a very little bit, and then you have one of these, right?
I do. Yeah, it's not that I threw mine for a little while, so it's not in as good as condition as that. But
this has been thrown because do you remember how we got these?
Oh,
Hunter and Trevor did a tilt only round, and then both gave them to us after they were done with it.
That's right.
So this has been thrown for one round. I don't remember whose this is, but it's mine now. But yeah, the tilt. I mean, it's a cool disc.
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to keep it for collector's purposes.
Yeah. And now they have the full tilt.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see those.
Yeah, those.
I won't bag one, but I'm excited to see them.
Yeah.
And then really weird disc here. This was from the Gateway factory.
Oh.
This is the Gateway Prototype G1. This is basically the only good distance driver that they have, and it's probably not ever going to be released.
Why is that?
I don't know. So it's very destroyer feeling, and it flew a lot like 1.2.
Okay.
Had a decent amount of glide. Actually flew really. Me and Hunter and Trevor all were surprised that it flew as good as it did. Feels pretty good too. It's got kind of a pumpkin spice plastic going on.
Oh yeah,
the plastic feels pretty
looks
good.
really cool.
Yeah,
feels pretty good. There's like these weird circles.
Yeah, those are the injection spots. So
no, it feels very destroyer like.
Yeah, it flew really good, but Dave was just like, yeah, I don't know if we'll ever get him approved, and we were like, why? Because they don't have good distance drivers. And like this would actually be a good one from them, but it was kind of cool. He let us all pick one, and it's just kind of a cool weird disc,
very unique.
Very few other people have.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, now we'll go. I'll save my favorite disc for last.
Yeah.
Let's go into some Discmania. So I do have some original Discmania left.
Ooh.
First one I got here is probably the best one out of all of them. It is the Jackal S-Line FD. This was actually sent to me by somebody, and I'm very thankful for that. I traded him something for it, but I can't remember what it was. But he basically reached out to me and was like, I heard you say that you wanted a S-Line FD. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I'll trade you something for it. And I was like, okay, cool. So this was in my bag for a little bit, flew really good. But honestly, every time I held it in my hand, I would just get so nervous that I was going to lose it. So, this is original Discmania. It's whenever their S line was star, and man, it just feels so good. That's a great one. I have.
Cool.
I mean, that's like
just star.
An FD is like the sought after original Discmania disc. I feel like.
Right.
So then I've got right here. This is a big Discmania bar stamp DDX. The DDX wasn't like a crazy popular disc, but it's just cool. Like you don't see a ton of the big bar Discmania stamp.
Yeah,
and
very clean. I like that stamp. Yeah,
I threw this for a while. One of my friends almost convinced me to give it to him. And I was like, no, because I know you're going to lose it. So I held on to it.
Smart man.
I actually bought this from USDGC one year.
Oh.
And then right here, I've got two of like what was one of my favorite Discmania discs. I don't throw it anymore because one, I'm nervous to lose it. Also because I have a disc that flies like it. But this is the S-Line CD2. CD2 is a really good disc. It's basically a beat up Thunderbird. I would think is a good way to describe it. Same speed. It's a 9-speed. Similar feeling. I mean, it definitely feels less stable than a Thunderbird. But yeah, just like a really beat up one where it's just got a nice straight flight and then will fade a little bit at the end.
Okay.
I threw the heck out of these. And then I have another one here that wasn't in my bag. It's signed by a person that I'm not proud signed it, so I'm not even going to show who signed it. But basically somebody that I just don't care for. These are also the Danavichi Roaming Thunders, and I, for some reason, like back in the day, was a huge Danavichi fan. Like I thought all of his in the bags were like my favorite in the bags. He just seemed like a really cool guy, and he had a red beard, so like we were best friends basically. He just didn't know it. But this one's super domey and is really stable, like super stable and really glidey. So. These ones are cool. They're just the swirly S-line plastic.
Yeah, no, that feels.
And that was before swirls were cool.
Yeah.
Because then Discraft came into the game their new stuff came into the game and was like, all right, everything's gonna be swirly as crap now.
Yeah.
All right, the last section of discs and my favorite section is gonna be my rocks. I'm a huge fan of rocks.
Are all those rocks?
These are all. Yeah, these four are all rocks. These are the four that are like cool to other people. I've got a lot of rocks that are cool to me.
Okay.
That they're either like ace discs or like discs that everybody on my college team signed and stuff like, or discs that, I've got one that is completely broken in half because I threw it into a tree and it cracked completely in half in the air and then fell to the ground in two different pieces. But I did not bring that one. First of all, we've got my McPro Rock 3. This is actually one of the glow ones, one of the glow McPro Rock 3s. And this just was like, I think this was the first time that I threw a mid-range and was like, holy crap, that flies different. And because I had thrown rocks before, but like this is the first time that I'd picked up a disc and thrown it and immediately could tell the difference. And then it was in my bag forever. Like you can see it's super warped and beat up. Yeah, it looks
super used.
And it flies so good. It's just got that perfect like late flip that rocks have. It's just a really good disc. And these McPro Rock 3s, or the Rock 3 in general, and just let you know, if you get a flat top KC rock, it's the exact same thing as a McPro Rock 3. But they're just a touch faster than a normal rock, which is cool. Just gives sometimes, to me, it seems like I can get a little bit more distance with them. But you don't quite have that same unique glide that a rock has, but it's just a little bit faster. Love this disc. It goes in and out of my bag right now because I just replaced it with this, which is the DX Rock stamp with the Innova Air Force stamp on it. Innova Air Force stamp is like, anytime you see something with that stamp on it, it's like you've got yourself a cool disc.
I know, and I didn't even know that for the longest time. I was
it's super cool. It's basically it's a little less rare, I think, than like the Innova Team stamp, but still just a very cool thing. I don't think I've ever actually seen one of these in person. I think I've only seen them on old Innova players in the bags. And so whenever I saw this like come in, I was like, it just like. I got like goosebumps and I was like, that is mine now.
Yeah.
And so
now you have one.
It's a DX Rock is what the stamp is. It says on the back just Rock, but it's very obviously a DX Rock 3 because no rock is that flat naturally, which I love. I love the way the flat ones feel in my hand. So
yeah,
this is in my bag right now. It's probably going to fight back and forth between these two.
Two good choices.
Yeah. And then, probably the coolest one out of all of them is this 11-time KC Rock that Silas, you actually gave this to me for my birthday.
The funny thing is, I was literally in Play It Again. I don't know why I was in Play It. This was before our store opened, and I was in the used section, and it was like $5, $6, $7. And I was like, oh, this looks cool. This feels. At the time, I had no clue. It was when y'all were like hyping up the Rock.
Yeah,
you liked the Rock. I was like, oh, this kind of feels similar to the Rock. I'll just get it for him. It's only like $7. Whatever.
So I was like, it looked like a disc that you would like because me and Trevor and Hunter always talk about like the ugliest, like dirtiest discs are going to be the coolest ones. And he gave it to me. I was like, oh, this is awesome, Silas. And I just thought it was just like an old DX Rock, which is still great.
Yeah.
Then I got in the car and I looked at it and I was like, wait a second, because you can barely see the stamp on it. I was like, that's the big end of a stamp. And then I got home and I looked all around on it and ended up seeing where it said 11 time on it instead of, and on the 11 times, it's not the number 11, it's the words written out 11 times.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so that's another way that you can tell too.
Okay.
And so, yeah, this is probably the single coolest disc I have. And it's got a nice little dog bite mark in it. It looks like it flies. This disc flies really good, but I'm too nervous to throw it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't fly better than other rocks I have, so this one's just a good one to keep out of the bag. But it'll go in and out.
Yeah. If you were to show this to me again, I don't even know that I could tell like what it was. Like, it's a rock, but there's no way I could tell.
Yeah, you can
that.
just barely see that silver big end of a stamp.
Look.
Yeah. I stood there with a flashlight on it forever just trying to make sure so I didn't make a fool of myself.
That's so cool. Though.
And then this one is probably the most obscure rock I have. But this is a USDGC Champion Rock Plus. So this is the Plus mold. I'm not really sure what the Plus mold does.
Looks like it's a bit more domey than the rest.
But that's like if you had a regular Champion Rock, it would be probably close to that domey. The Plus mold, I think, just makes it. I have no idea. I think the shoulder might be a little taller, maybe. It's hard. The bead is the same. It looks like the mold is. It might be a little bit. I don't have any idea. I should have looked it up before I came on here, but it's a cool disc. It's cool that it's a old USDGC disc. I wish I could tell. Does it say the year on it? I also probably should have checked that too, because that would have been cool. I do not see the year, but
all right.
Yeah, this is just a really cool rock. I've thrown it. It's like it flies straight. Not cool enough for me to throw, but it's a very cool enough to keep. Collector's disc, because I don't feel like a lot of people will have this disc because it's just really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
for sure.
That's my collection.
You definitely have a lot more than I thought.
Okay.
I didn't know you were collecting. I didn't know you had all this stuff.
I didn't think I had this much either.
Yeah. I don't know, but you've been in the disc golf game for a while.
Yeah, for about 6 years or so.
A lot of people like me just got into it during COVID. So
I try to not just be involved in the old Innova, but get a little bit of like cool discraft stuff, because that's really cool right now. And then having like the tilt. Like I want like a good variety of it, but definitely the stuff I get most excited about will be the old Innova, because that's just. Is
that what like you originally got into Innova when you first started playing?
Yeah, like all guys that have been playing the same amount of time as me. Whenever I started playing, it was all. Paul was at Innova, and Paul was dominant. So I just wanted to be Paul, basically. Right. My bag was almost exactly the same as Paul's. It was aimed exactly after his bag. I had the same amount of rocks. I had the same amount of T-birds, the same amount of Thunderbirds. Like it was ridiculous.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
The way to go was 4 McPro Rock 3s. Okay. Now I had 1 McPro Rock 3 and 3 flat top KC rocks, which again is the same thing. So 4 McPro Rock 3s.
Okay. And
then you have 1 Champ Rock 3, and then you have 1 Metal Flake Rock 3. And that's the way you go. And then you have, 6 rocks in your bag.
How many do you have right now? Do you have any?
Yeah. I definitely have rocks in my bag. I have 1, 2. It changes between 3 and 4. Because I don't need 4 in there. I have enough self-awareness to know I don't need 4 in there. But it depends on like if I want to try out a different driver or something like that, then I'll just take the rock that I don't really need in there out and put that in. So
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for coming on and
no problem, man.
sharing your collection. You know, man, I appreciate it.
I was happy to. I was very excited. I love frisbees.
Awesome. Well, hey, if you guys enjoyed this episode, leave a like. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, if you want to be on the show potentially, fill out that form in the description below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.
1, 2,